Welcome back to Elseworlds, the best comic book related show in the multiverse, and today we're going to talk about Shazam, the newest film from DC. And what are my thoughts right off the bat? I loved this movie. Now, I don't think it's on the same level as Aquaman. Aquaman set a bar for me that's going to be hard to break in the future. But Shazam is definitely in the top 3 when it comes to DC films. For those of you that don't know the story, this is the story of Billy Batson, an orphan. He's got a chip on his shoulder, he's trying to find his mother, and he ends up meeting this foster family who's really nice, but he still doesn't feel like he quite belongs. And it's in this foster family he meets Freddy, a comic book nerd like me, really. This kid was me, I swear to God. And from there, Billy meets a wizard who gives him the power, where if he says the word Shazam, he transforms into Zachary Levi, the superhero. And so what did I like about this movie? Well, first of all, let's talk about Zachary Levi. Zachary Levi perfectly embodies what I wanted from the character of Shazam. He delivers on the superhero-esque stuff that we want from the movie, but he also does a great job acting like a kid in a grown man's body. This is Big Meets Superman, and it's done very well. But much to my surprise, Shazam is not the only one who makes this movie. You have Freddy, played by Jack Dylan Grazer, I believe is his name, who played Eddie in It. He does a great job. It's nice to see Hollywood properly portray a superhero fanboy, you know, in a world where we got Big Bang Theory, which is basically the blackface of comic book nerds, you know. It's nice to see that they portrayed us properly. But then you have Asher Angel playing Billy Batson, the kid version, and he does a great job, and both Asher and Zachary Levi do a great job of emulating each other. So you can definitely see it as, oh yeah, that's the same character. They act like the same character, which is hard to pull off, and I was really impressed with how they did it. Now, one of the things that makes this movie work is the comedy. This movie is so funny. I was busting up in so many scenes, and from the trailers, you would think, oh, this is just a straight-up comedy. This is very Thor Ragnarok or whatever. Actually, no. Like, yeah, there is a lot of comedy, and it's very lighthearted and very family-friendly. You can take your kids, your grandparents, you can go see it. It is a very perfect family film all the way around. Most of the time. See, that's where we get into my next point. The trailers do a good job of hiding this. This movie is surprisingly dark in places. Not like the Dark Knight level dark, but pretty dark. The best way I can kind of like point it to is movies like Gremlins, where it's kind of for family, but it has some scary moments. Yeah, there are some scary moments because, well, I don't want to spoil it, but there's just things that appear in the movie, and you're like, well, okay, we went there. Alright. Okay then. And that's where we get to the villain, Mark Strong, who, let's be honest, he's not on the same level as Black Manta or Ocean Master. Now, that's not to say that he's a bad villain, not at all. It is clear that he's a starter villain. You know those starter villains like Ironmonger from the first Iron Man. You know, he's not really meant to be like the Thanos of this movie. No, he's not Thanos, he's not Vulture, he's just kind of he's a good villain. Like, it's a good threat. He's a good threat with a good performance by Mark Strong, who really delivers. It's Mark Strong. Are you really surprised? He always does well. With him, there is a very dark sequence with him that just had me like, oh, wow, we are heading into horror movie territory here. Okay. And just a warning, this movie doesn't like, you know, he gets his powers, he goes right into fighting. It's more like how a kid would react. I'm a grown man now with powers. I'm gonna have fun with this. And yeah, that's pretty much how most of the movie is. Now, it's not to say that there isn't any superhero-esque stuff. Oh no! When the movie goes superhero movie, it goes hard. Like, really hard. It's kind of bizarre in a way. Like, for the most part, it's a fun little comedy featuring this goofy superhero. But when the villain finally faces off against him, it's like, oh, wow. And when the final act of the movie hits, holy crap. I am not going to spoil it at all. Maybe I'll talk about it in another video, but let me just say, they did a good job hiding this from trailers, and I was very impressed. Something happens, and for those who have seen it, you probably know what I'm talking about. When this happens, my jaw dropped, and I think yours will too. Shazam is a movie that does a great job of balancing humor, lots of heart, has a mature tone, and it perfectly balances everything out for a whole family. And that's kind of the whole theme of this movie, family. They talk about the importance of family. Whether you're related or not, family is important. In fact, this movie actually nearly got me to tear up in a few spots. Like, I was genuinely impressed by that. So, yeah, I love Shazam. Do I have any flaws? Well, I guess you can say the soundtrack wasn't memorable. I mean, there wasn't really a tune that made me go, ooh, that's cool. Like I remember watching Aquaman, and I heard that synth orchestra soundtrack they had going on. I was impressed by that. Whereas Shazam, kind of generic superhero music, nothing really special. And I think that's about it. I don't really have any plot issues or anything like that. I mean, as a DC fan who loves Shazam as a character, I was very impressed with how they pulled this off. Because I'll admit, I was a little worried, the low budget, the newbie director, it could have gone a very stupid route, but instead they properly pulled off a Shazam movie that made me smile through the whole movie. So with that said, I'm going to give Shazam a 10 out of 10. Like, even with my flaw about the music, the rest of the movie is so good that I just don't care. Is it as good as Aquaman or my favorite film of last year, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse? No. But if you're still looking for a good family-friendly film, then you're gonna love this movie too, because it's perfect for everyone. So, with that said, have you seen Shazam? Did you enjoy it like I did? Leave your thoughts down below, subscribe for more episodes, like this video if you did, and I'll talk to you all next time in the multiverse.